following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your beer.
Keep following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
That's right, it's hour number 2 of Areva Martin in real time. Let's get you all caught up. The International Court of Justice today ordered Israel to immediately halt its military assault on Rafah, the city in southern Gaza where more than 1 million people had sought refuge in dire conditions. Israel is unlikely to comply with the order, which the ICJ has no power to enforce, but the landmark ruling will pile pressure on the increasingly isolated U.S. ally. 2 senior Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee, including Chair Dick Durbin, are requesting a meeting with Chief Justice John Roberts as soon as possible amid reports that properties owned by Justice Samuel Alito displayed 2 flags with links to the January 6th insurrection. In a letter released today, Senator Durbin said, quote, "We urge you to immediately take appropriate steps to ensure that Justice Alito will recuse himself in any cases related to the 2020 presidential election and January 6th attack on the Capitol," close quote. Donald Trump made a direct appeal to black and Hispanic voters in one of the bluest parts of the country yesterday, boasting he could expand the electoral map into traditionally Democratic strongholds. Speaking to a crowd in the South Bronx, Trump claimed he would win his home state of New York, a state that has not gone for a Republican presidential candidate since Ronald Reagan 44 years ago. Nikki Haley said Wednesday that she will be voting for Donald Trump in the general election, a notable show of support given their intense and often personal rivalry during the Republican primary calendar. The comments in her first public speech since leaving the race, are another signal of the GOP's virtually complete consolidation of support behind Trump, even from those who have labeled him a threat in the past. Louisiana lawmakers yesterday approved legislation making the possession of abortion pills without a prescription a crime punishable by up to 10 years in prison. It now heads to the desk of Republican Governor Jeff Landry, who has not publicly weighed in on the legislation but is expected to sign it. The first in the nation legislation could be a model for other red states grappling with how to stop their residents from traveling out of state to get abortion pills or ordering them online despite their abortion bans. Under the Louisiana bill, pregnant women who obtain the medication for their own use would be exempt from criminal liability, but friends or family who help them get the pills and non-pregnant women who obtain them as a precaution could face criminal penalties just for possession. With a verdict in Donald Trump's hush money trial set to come as soon as next week, President Joe Biden's campaign is exploring a shift to a new, more aggressive posture. Regardless of the outcome, top Biden campaign officials plan to stress to voters that Trump will be on the ballot in the fall and that no potential court proceeding will change that fact. If Trump is found guilty at his state trial in New York City, the Biden campaign will also consider whether to brand him as a convicted felon. And finally, tennis star Coco Gauff slammed the Republican-led government when asked last week at the Italian Open what it's like to be a Florida resident these days. Gauff said, quote, "It is a crazy time to be a Floridian, especially a black one at that. We aren't happy with the current state of our government in Florida, especially everything with the books and just the way our office operates," Gauff said about controversial book bans in Florida. And indeed, Florida did have the nation's highest number of book bans with over 3,100 from July 2023 to December 2023, which, you know what, that makes me like Coco Gauff even more. I was already a fan. She just won the U.S. Open. Let's go, Coco. When we come forward, we're going to be talking to TJ Mercer. She is the founder of Move-In Day Mafia. I'm going to be talking to her in honor of Foster Month, Foster Care Month. And that is what May is. I know that each month has their own set of designations, but Foster Care Month is important because a lot of kids do go through the system and they eventually get aged out and they have nowhere to go and they end up being homeless or getting involved in illegal activity. And it's sad for those who don't have any support system. Think about your life without parents. And not just now, but from the beginning. How your life might have turned out. How your life is better because you had parents. So we're going to be talking to TJ Mercer when we come forward. I am looking forward to this conversation, and we'll get right to it next on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. We're getting closer to June 18th, and time is running out for you to register to join us for our historic symposium live on C-SPAN, Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com right now if you want to be in the audience when the nation will see for the first time ever a stage full of brilliant black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's all going down. Well, it's actually all going up. Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. live from the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Again, admission is free, but we're filling up fast. So if I were you, I would log on right now to KBLA1580.com to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops, I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77. I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer. So I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, home of the 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
There's no time like the present. Let's get back to more of Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
That's right. It is hour number 2 of the Friday edition of Areva Martin in real time. Avi Bernard here with you every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 to 9 Eastern. and really appreciate you joining us, whether you're listening here in Los Angeles on 1580 AM or on the free KBLA app, or you're listening to and watching us on YouTube. That's right, you can watch us live on YouTube. And we were having a discussion last hour about Clarence Thomas, and Kwame Allah says on YouTube that Clarence Thomas is easily that black cop from Boys in the Hood. That's hilarious, because I always remember, and they did a parody of this on Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. And I think it was Bernie Mac who played the black cop. And he said, what did he say? He said, I hate my gun because it's black. I hate my gums because they black. I hate the back of Whoopi Goldberg's black-ass neck. Man, thank you for that, Kwame. I appreciate that reminder, because that's definitely who Clarence Thomas is. But I do want to introduce TJ Mercer, who is the founder of Move-In Day Mafia. TJ, thanks for joining us. How are you today?
Hey, Avi, thanks for having me. How is my wonderful LA?
Oh, your wonderful LA is a little gloomy somehow. It's like a high of 65, I think, today, or 66. We're waiting on the sun to come back for prolonged stretches.
Yeah, that means you're waiting on me, because, I took my sunshine away.
That must be it, TJ. I was wondering what the deal was, because I've been waiting on the sun now.
Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is. So the sun should be peeking out just a little. It's not going to show up in full effect, because I'm not physically at home. But, you should get just a tidge more of sunshine now.
Okay, so then when can we expect the sun to come back now? When are you coming back?
I'm hoping to come back next month and spend a little time there.
Oh, we got to wait another month for the sunshine? That's crazy. All right, fine.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And where are you right now?
I'm based in Atlanta right now, as I'm building out and getting ready for the upcoming move-in season for Move-In Day Mafia.
Okay, so that is a perfect segue. What in the world is Move-In Day Mafia?
In its short form, so you think about, Avi, I'm not sure, did you go to college or have seen people?
I did go to college, yeah. I went to Humboldt State University, PWI, and not my favorite experience in life, but go ahead.
So you had a move-in day, right?
Right.
And, just go back to your own move-in day. I'm not sure what your experience was like, but mine at Howard, it was a bustle of chaos, controlled chaos. Parents are excited, kids are excited, grandmas, everybody moving in. And they got, they've spent months assembling all the essentials. And so you think about it, when on one side of the room, there's a person moving in, it has everybody there fussing and doting over them. Mm-hmm. But on the other side is perhaps a scholar that barely got there. They're by themselves. They may have a trash bag or a suitcase with everything they need that they can afford, but they don't have nearly what they need to go for a whole semester, a whole year. That's where Move-In Day Mafia comes into play. I call us a mob of volunteers who go to HBCUs and move in students who have aged out of foster care or are unhoused or grapple with severe financial hardships. And we take care of them for the 4 years that they're in college. We provide them monthly care packages to make sure that they can just be a student and get to graduation.
Okay, so you help them move in, and then you don't just, it's not just, okay, off you go, you're in college now, we helped you move in, our good deed is done. You help them the entire 4 years they're in college.
We help them their entire 4 years, which is why we need help, we need funding, because these students have already beat the odds, Avi. 70% of kids in foster care dream of going to college, yet only 3% go and only 1% graduate for many reasons. A lot of it has to do with their basic needs are not being met. So there's stress attached to getting to graduation and all of that. And we show up to love on them and to get them through to the finish line.
Now, I know you said that you helped them all 4 years, but what about the people like me who went to undergrad for like 7 years? And do they still get the help in year 5?
So we would have to evaluate you on a case-by-case basis
okay,
and find out,
got
now
it.
what's taking you so long?
Okay, got it. No, I was playing sports and I had some injuries, and so I was able to redshirt and get some extra time that way. And then also I just took a long time.
Okay.
But anyway,
Gotcha.
so I don't know your story. What motivated you to start Move-In Day Mafia? What was your Move-In Day experience like?
So, like I said, this was not my move-in day experience. And until, I founded this initiative, I really, like many of our supporters and donors now, they had not considered this population. But what had happened was back in 2020, I had moved to Atlanta and started a virtual bingo game that took off. That led me to launching TJ's HBCU bingo, where we raised over $1 million in less than 4 weeks. And we gave it away to the 2020 grads of HBCUs because they'd had their graduation snatched. That's where I met a young lady who told me that when she went to her HBCU, she had aged out of foster care, and her social worker drove her to campus, pulled up to the curb, Avi, let her unload what little she had, and then just bounced. And that devastated me. For some reason, it's one of those things that, for me, when God lets something bother you so much that it's causing you to lose sleep, there's a good chance that he's calling you to be the solution. So I asked God, like, what can I do to help? And Move-In Day Mafia was the answer, and it was born in 2022.
And so, so for me, I wasn't even, I wasn't a foster youth, and I just drove to school by myself, so I did move myself in, but I still had the support of my family back home. I could call my mom if I needed to, and so just knowing that it's a completely different experience. I was asking the audience before we went to break, just imagine your life without parents, and just how that would have changed things for you. I can't even imagine what my life would have been like, especially if I went through the system, and you go through the system, and it's already not an easy experience, and then you have dreams. You said, I think 70% of foster youth dream of going to college, and then they go, and then it's lonely, man. College can be really lonely, especially if you don't have a support system. You don't know anybody. I mean,
and you have never had to navigate that kind of transition. Like, when you asked me about my experience, I knew my mama got paid on Wednesdays.
Okay.
On Thursdays, I was like, Mama, can you put $40 in my account? And she fuss and cuss, but she would do it. But these kids don't have that.
Yeah.
When they go to school, they have to figure it out. And there's 3 non-negotiables for us at Move-In Day Mafia. One, we are going to eliminate, I got to figure it out of their vocabulary. We don't want them having to figure anything out. 2, we have to get them out of survival mode, because that's what they've been in. And so a lot of our students, for them, we're too good to be true. They can't believe that there's a group of people who want nothing from them but to help them get to graduation. And the non-negotiable 3, Avi, is to make sure we're asking them, what do you want? Because a lot of times this is the first time they've had a choice of what goes into their environment. They have a choice of what they want for their favorite snacks, their favorite detergent, their favorite deodorant, their favorite toothpaste. There is usually a situation of, they're handed a bag and it's like, here, this is what we've given you. Be happy that we're helping, and, figure out the rest. That's not what we do over at Move-In Day Mafia. All of their rooms are custom designed by one of our partners, Nikki Klug Design Group. And we have a strong student support team that makes random check-ins. And so these students really are feeling the love of, hopefully, we can't replace parents, obviously,
right,
but we can be a strong support system for them.
Yeah, of course, there's no replacing parents, but that doesn't mean that, as you said, a support system isn't just critical, and it doesn't make all the difference in someone's experience. And shout out to the Move-In Day Mafia fam who are in the chat on YouTube. I see Farah there, Madison Joseph, Whitney B, And Farrah's in there taking notes for us, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's
so
my crew. Our team is 100% volunteers.
love it. I love
And
that.
they are some committed volunteers.
I see. And as Farrah says in the chat, just a reminder, number one, the 3 non-negotiables are: 1, eliminate the I gotta figure it out mindset; number 2, cancel survival mode; and number 3, asking the scholars, what do you want? And that seems like, especially if you're a foster care person who grew up in the system, whoever asked you what you wanted? You were in a system, maybe at a facility, and you had to get what you were given, and just kind of just take it. But when imagine someone asking you what you want for the first time, that's powerful.
Yeah.
And
that's what happened when we sent their forms. Some of them didn't have answers because no one had asked them.
Wow.
That was why it became one of our non-negotiables, because no one had asked them, Avi. And can you imagine you not getting a say in what makes you you?
Yeah. And then not even thinking about it. That's the crazy part to me, is not even thinking about what you would want. Just thinking, man, I just want to go to college, and not thinking what that experience might be like. Oh, I want to have this kind of dorm or apartment. I want to have this in it. I want to have these kind of roommates. That's just, and then to not even know what you might want. That's really powerful. But May is Foster Care Month, and so do you know how common foster care is, and do Black children deal with it more?
So that's a great question, and I was doing some digging in preparation for the interview, and what I found is pretty much Black children in the U.S. will experience some kind of child welfare investigation before their 18th birthday, which is double the amount of whites. And then nearly 10% of Black children will be removed from their parents and placed in foster care system. And again, that's double the rate of white children, which is why it's so important. You know, I get the question all the time, well, Teej, what about PWIs? Why not HBCUs? Well, it's twofold. One, those are the statistics I just read you. So they're already beating the odds by going to college in the first place. Mm-hmm. But the second side of that coin is HBCUs are already underfunded. I came out of the Howard University, and in comparison to the Harvard and the Yales, our endowments are nowhere near what those endowments are. But yet HBCUs still produce greatness. We produce 100% of the U.S. women vice presidents. You know what I'm saying? We produce 50% of the Black doctors. We present 50% of the Black dentists. And we do it being underfunded. And so for Moving Day Mafia, we wanted to come along beside the efforts of what these HBCUs do and take some of the stress off of the school, but especially off of the kids.
Yeah, I love that reminder that Vice President Kamala Harris is a fellow HBCU grad. That's true.
She's a Howard alum. Did I say that part? That she's a graduate of my alma mater? Did you catch that part, Avi?
Well, you did not say that part. I did know that she was a fellow Howard alum, but I was just trying to give love to the HBCU universe in general. You know what I mean? Because y'all Howard folk be acting up. And so, and Whitney B says on YouTube, Tennessee State University grad. All right, shout out Tennessee State. You know, there was a time when I was in high school when I thought about going to FAMU, and that is one of the regrets I have, is that I wish I would have went to FAMU. Although Florida is nuts, I would have been at least a little bit insulated at FAMU from all that craziness. Andy said it's not too late. Oh, and it's very much too late. It is very much. Ain't no way I'm going to any college ever again, except to visit or to go to a game or something, or be a keynote speaker. But anyway, TJ, when we come forward, I want to continue this conversation. But before we step aside, I want to ask you about the special makeovers you do in students' rooms. Is that just relating to like what they want, or is that just you asking the what they want question? But what are the special makeovers in their rooms like?
So all of our rooms, and that's why funding is so important, because it's really important to me that these kids get to choose. Mm-hmm. So please go to movindaymafia.org. and donate. But Nikki Klug and her team of designers designs all the rooms. It's an interview process with our scholars. So we learn their favorite colors. We learn their likes and dislikes. We learn, are they more into earthy tones or bright colors? We also learn, who are their heroes? Who do they want to be surrounded by, for inspiration? And so we go the extra step to put those things in their rooms because we want them to, A, thrive in a space that is specifically designed for them, but B, we also want them to know that you matter. You matter. You matter to us. And so, for example, we have a fifth scholar, Avi, that I revealed her room. Nikki and her team did an amazing job. Revealed her room. She loved it, screamed at the top of her lungs. But can you believe that it was when I showed her the snacks and everything that we had gotten for her that's when that baby cried, real tears, because she saw that we had gotten her stacks of Kit Kats. Kit Kats. Things that we would run into a 7-Eleven and think nothing of it. This is what is making these scholars actually feel seen and valued and heard.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I'm thinking of Halloween, and when I get one of them little, when you wade through the Halloween candy, right, and you got the B level and C level candy, and then you got the top tier candy. And Kit Kat is one of those top tier candies, and when you get one of those in your Halloween bag, it's like wow, we're gonna pause and we're gonna eat this one, and so I can imagine someone who hasn't been privileged to maybe have some of those experiences, even trick or treating, and then to get a bunch of Kit Kats, man, that's to this day. I wish I could eat some more Kit Kats, but metabolism catches up with you. But when we come forward, though, TJ, I do want to ask you for a couple more specific stories because I know that you've seen a lot of students, and I want to ask you about that when we come forward right after this news, traffic, and sports update on KBLA Talk 1580.
Areva time is the right time. More of Areva Martin in real time when we come forward.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Sean Diddy Combs is facing a new lawsuit from a woman who accuses him of drugging and sexually assaulting her over 20 years ago. Found in the Supreme Court in New York County, the lawsuit alleges Combs promised to mentor the woman and provide connections in the industry before he became coercive. The Congressional Black Caucus is endorsing Democratic Assemblyman Herb Conway for South Jersey's first ever black congressman. The caucus is an influential group of black members of the U.S. House and Senate. Fulton County, Georgia's DA, Fonnie Willis, is fighting back against the dismissal of 6 counts against Donald Trump and several others in the election interference case. Fonnie Willis's office filed an appeal in hopes of reversing Judge Scott McAfee's March decision. The charges dismissed involve accusations that state officials were illegally influenced to call a special session to appoint Trump electors in 2020. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wayne on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Accidents been cleared from downtown LA's 10 East before Central Avenue, but a 30-minute backup runs heavy in recovery from Crenshaw. Stall is also being cleared from Pomona's 71 North before Mission Boulevard, with a 10 to 15-minute backup in recovery from Peyton, Riverside Drive interchange. Now watch for a stall on Sepulveda Pass's 405 North after Ventura Boulevard, blocking the right shoulder with a 30-minute backup currently from National Boulevard. And in Carson's 405 South before Avalon Boulevard, an accident's on the right shoulder with a 10 to 15-minute backup from Western Avenue.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A special weekend for Major League Baseball in Cooperstown, New York, home of baseball's Hall of Fame. Tomorrow afternoon, many former black Major League players will be on the field to play a tribute game in honor of the famous Negro League's East-West All-Star Game. The game celebrates the memory of talented Negro players who were not allowed to play in the majors until Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier with the Dodgers in 1947. The game also commemorates the opening of a Negro Leagues museum in Cooperstown. The museum is called Souls of the Game, Voices of Black Baseball. Baseball. Check the Major League Baseball Network for coverage of the weekend events in Cooperstown. Tomorrow night at 7 here on KBLA, join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough for Out of Bounds. You can join the conversation at 1-800-920-1580. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black.
Follow the leader.
Following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Every day, millions face challenges that go unseen. Mental health issues affect not just individuals, but the relationships that matter most to them. Over 80% of those suffering with mental health conditions acknowledge the strain on their families. Parents grappling with depression or anxiety find even simple tasks overwhelming. At work, challenges can lead to communication breakdowns, jeopardizing careers and professional relationships. For those caring for loved ones, burnout is a stark reality. The weight of caregiving responsibilities can feel insurmountable. Children, too, feel this impact, often taking on more at home, sacrificing schoolwork and time with friends. But there's hope. Seeking support can change lives. This Mental Health Awareness Month, let's heal the relationships that matter most to us. It's okay to pray and get help. Visit normalizehelp.org for more information and resources.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Friday edition of Areva Martin Real Time. It's Avi Bernard here every Friday with you. And we are talking to TJ Mercer, founder of the Move-In Day Mafia. And we have a special caller on the line as well, Tasha from KBLA's Lyric Lounge. And from that laugh, I take it there's some familiarity. So what's up, Tasha? What's going on?
Hey, Avi. Hey, Sam. Crashing my interview, Tom. How you crashing my interview?
That is what alumni of B. Howard University do.
See, that's what I said. I said y'all be acting up.
I just had to call it and say firsthand, I know how incredible this woman is and how incredible this organization is. I was part of the bingo during quarantine, and just to see it come from that inception to all the way full circle with this, TJ, I just had to give you your flowers, or should I say your lemons, right now, because you are amazing in what you're doing. Yes, see,
I caught what you just slid in, that inside joke you just slid in. But I'm going to act like I got some sense in front of guests with Avi, here. Because, we're going to go in offline for that little snide remark you just threw in. But I got you. I love you, Taj. I love you.
Love you more.
I love you.
Avi, this is an incredible woman with this program, this organization. When they say they take it to the mattresses with Move-In Day Mafia, they do, and just helping those babies out.
Literally.
The way that she is. Literally, I just had to stop what I was doing and call in and say, this is just incredible. And I'm so proud of this lady and all the people she has working with her, because she is truly making a difference in these kids' lives.
Well, we appreciate you, Tasha. We appreciate you, Tasha.
Yes.
And we can hear Lyric Lounge on Saturdays right here on KBLA. So make sure to check out Tasha and Lyric Lounge. So thanks again for checking in, Tasha, and reminding us again how awesome TJ Mercer is.
Aww.
Right, ain't you?
Thank you.
All right, that's about enough of that. And when we let's check into these YouTube comments. So Pretty Brown Mimi says, she said, Kit Kat, if I'm having chocolate, I'm having chocolate. Hashtag 3 Musketeers. Okay, so first of all, Mimi.
Oh, she an OG. We about to have a battle of the candy up in the chat.
We all know that Snickers is number one, and then if you're a peanut butter fan, Butterfinger. So I'm a Butterfinger lover, and I just made Andy put on the headset. So, Andy, what's you got a problem with Butterfinger?
Low key.
What?
I rock with Butterfinger, but how come nobody is? I feel like Jaylen Brown right now, even though it's all about the Lake Show. But I feel left out. I didn't make any team. None of y'all's gonna talk about Reese's.
We haven't got there. I was about to get there.
Oh, okay, I'm just saying.
Ew, Andy, we were cool.
Whoa.
Like we were chatting offline.
TJ, hold on.
And you gonna hit us with the Reese's?
You can't say. Did you say ew? I might end this interview right here, right now. All right, because that is insulting. And of course, we got to talk about M&Ms. All right, now, I mean.
Okay, I can rock with the M&Ms. I can rock with the M&Ms.
Okay, so all right. And Madison Joseph said, love this song. That's right. That's called Thank You by Alicia Myers. All-time great song right there. All right, so let's get back to it. TJ, you're obviously a lot of fun to talk to because you got people calling in, just crashing the interview like you said. But I want to hear one of your stories, though. I know you told us the stories about the young lady with the Kit Kat bars, and just how that actually brought her to tears. And I imagine, it's the small things when you're in a situation like that. It's the things that you may not expect that will make you emotional. So, what's another one of the stories that you've experienced?
Speaking of that, let me tell you the small things, the things that we take for granted. So I have a scholar at Prairie View, and she has been in foster care her entire. Okay, I'm trying not to get emotional. Dang it, Avi. Okay, so she has been in foster care her whole life, right? And she has nine siblings that she doesn't know where they are. And on her interview, we asked her, what is your dream? And she said, this baby said, my dream is to find my siblings and help them get an education. Automatically, we knew we've got to help her. And she was one of the scholars that at Prairie View, they have a designated department to this population of students. And this particular baby was one that he asked, do y'all have room for? She'll be a senior, but she's such a good kid. We've never, she's not had anybody do anything like this for her, if you have room. And so when we met her, one of the first things she wanted to make sure we knew was that she was going to be a senior, and so she didn't want to take a spot from a freshman. That was number two. I know we're taking care of this baby because she's coming in with that kind of compassion. But it was move-in day, and yes, Avi, we provide everything, the TVs, the refrigerators, the microwaves. We provide everything that they would need, anything that you would do for a parent. So, again, her room reveal, she loved it. Nikki and her team did the darn thing. This particular kid was into painting, so she had some painting supplies. And so she was really moved that we had paid attention to that and bought her just a holder for her paintbrushes. That touched her. But Avi, it was when I took her to her bathroom and I opened up her cabinet and she saw that we had bought her bulk supply of Always maxi pads. That's when that baby broke into tears. Maxi pads. Something that she has no control over, that she needs these, and yet things that we take for granted. We don't think anything, Avi, at least I don't, of going to Target, going down the aisle to pick up my favorite, sanitary pad. But the fact that this baby does not have to work 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 jobs to just get her basic needs met, that's when I knew we were on the right track. That's when I knew this is something we have to do more of. And so, our first year we moved in 13 scholars at Paul Quinn College. And our second year we moved in, but it gets better. Second year we more than doubled that. We moved in 31 scholars at 5 HBCUs, Fisk, Paul Quinn, Prairie View, Howard, and Morgan State. This year, Avi, we have opened up applications to students who fit our criteria at all HBCUs. We have gone national with this thing. So I have dug into, we have to make sure students like that scholar at Prairie View, students like the scholar I told you about at Fisk, that they are not worried about things that they need just to exist, things that we take for granted. It takes us about $3,800 for a scholar per year to make sure they get all their move-in essentials, their monthly care packages. So we need help. I am not opposed on the behalf of the kids. I am not opposed to begging. Y'all, we need help with these students. Please donate. Please volunteer for Move-In Day. Volunteer to even just help us build this thing at moveindayMafia.org.
Okay, so I was just going to ask you, where can people go to donate? So it's moveindayMafia.org, right?
Yep. And everything, we are a 501c3, so all of your donations are tax deductible.
That is wonderful to hear. I do hope that our KBLA family will go to moveindayMafia.org. It is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and all of those donations are tax deductible. And you said that you now have applications at all 5 HBCU. I mean, not all 5. I'm sorry, all HBCUs nationwide. Does that include the new California HBCU, Houston, Tillotson?
Hudson Tillotson. Yes. So if you are a student at any of the HBCUs and you are either aged out of foster care, experience housing insecurity, or have what's called zero or lower SAI, Student Aid Index, please go to moveindayMafia.org and apply.
I think a lot of our parents should be encouraging their students to do that, and they should and likely will. So when we come forward, though, TJ, I do want to wrap up this conversation and talk a little bit about your background, because you just started doing this a few years ago, but you also have gotten busy in Hollywood. You've worked on movies and TV shows, and I wanna ask you about that before we talk about the upcoming school year and what you're excited about with Move-In Day Mafia right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Have you heard of the 50-30-20 rule? This can help you spend and save your money wisely. So, how does it work? Distribute your dollars into 3 buckets. 50% towards needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% goes to savings. Use this tool to help your journey to financial success. Sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long.
We're unapologetically progressive.
KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. There's no time like the present. Let's get back to more of Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
And it is the Friday edition. Welcome back. We're joined by TJ Mercer, the founder of Move-In Day Mafia. All right, TJ, now I have something I need to address with you immediately.
Uh-oh, I can already tell by the tone. What, Avi? What?
Someone on YouTube said you like candy corn. Is that true or is that not true?
That is, listen, I ain't saying, that is 100% true. I love me some candy corn, and when you put some pecans with it, then we really in business.
Wait a minute. Andy said you like black licorice too.
No, Andy, I don't. Andy, you know what? You and I gonna fight. We're gonna fight.
All this time, I'm interviewing you. I'm thinking you're a good person. Come to find out, you like candy corn. Crazy.
It's that one nugget of information that has just knocked me down several pegs. Now you lost all respect for me.
That's it. All of the countless foster care youth you've done wonders for, and the candy corn just reversed all of it. No,
ruined it for me.
Oh man. And also that you don't like Reese's, that's also offensive. But see y'all Howard University focal are out of control. I just have to say that.
We've been told.
Yeah, exactly. I want to ask you something not related to Moving Day Mafia, just real quick, because I was talking about this last hour, and there is no wrong answer here. Okay.
Okay.
But it is Michael Richards, who he played Kramer on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So about 20 years ago, he was doing stand up and he had a racist tirade in which he kept saying the N-word, right? And
I remember that very well.
Yeah, it's hard to forget. It's hard to forget. So he's been out of the spotlight since then for almost 20 years, and I was asking my last guest because he's about to come out with a memoir, right? And he's almost 75, and he said, I'm not racist. I have nothing against black people. The man who told me I wasn't funny had just said what I'd been saying to myself for a while. I felt put down, and I wanted to put him down. So I'm just me and my previous guests were saying, should we forgive him? And we were both kind of in the camp of, nah, he'll be all right. He got the Seinfeld residuals. He'll be fine, right? So I was just asking, should we forgive Michael Richards or nah? There's no wrong answer. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I have done a lot of things in my life that I'm not proud of. And so who am I to withhold forgiveness? Especially, I think you were saying if this happened in 2006, we're coming up on 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
What do we look like just holding on to people's mistakes? I am not who I was 20 years ago. So I don't want to be held accountable, especially if there's fruit that I have produced that shows, I have evolved, I've changed. That's not something that I'm proud of. But for me, it also goes back. Now, I totally agree. He ain't hurting at all because them Seinfeld checks are huge, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But to still, as a human being, to not be able to really do what you think you were created to do, that's a punishment, and we haven't heard peep from him in almost 20 years. Mm-hmm. But for me, as much as people have given me grace, people have forgiven me, helping me be a bigger person, I would be open to hearing what he had to say and how he's evolved.
I actually really enjoyed that take. I really like that take because we don't know where he stands exactly, but I think he seems to have learned something. I don't know if he's learned enough, but I like that last part you said about being willing to hear him out. I do like that because it was almost 20 years ago, and while I'm not feeling sorry for him, I do think he'll be all right. I think it's okay to hear somebody out when it's been that long, and he is almost 75. He's a elderly man now, and so it's that would be interesting. But before we run out of time, I want to ask you. So you have worked in Hollywood as an award-winning Hollywood TV editor and producer, and you've worked on titles like Shrek, The Chronicles of Narnia, Kung Fu Panda, Shaft. So I just wanted to ask you about your experience in Hollywood, and are you still working in Hollywood, or do you miss it?
Yeah, so I lived in LA for 25 years, living out my dream. My degree from Howard was in television production, and I immediately moved to LA and landed on the TV show Extra. And from there, I went to The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and then my career just took off, and I'm really, really proud of it. And for Move-In Day Mafia, one of the things that we did last year when we moved in our scholars is we shot it as a dorm room makeover show. So I'm still, I'm not fully in Hollywood 100%, but you can take the girl out the edit bay, but you can't take the edit bay out the girl.
Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of power in that edit bay. People don't realize how important the editing is. There is so much film and B-roll and all these things you have to go through. And when you can create a nice finished package, that's because of the editor. And obviously a lot of people put work into that.
Exactly. Thank you for those props.
Of course.
Thank you for those props.
Of course. Hey, I'm knowing. I've done editing when I was working at KTLA 5, editing those packages and things like that. And I also am a filmmaker, so I totally get it. And so here in the comments, let's see. Madison Joseph said, now subscribe to KBLA. All right, Madison, appreciate that. Farrah said the Mafia is everywhere, HBCU. And your folks are blowing up these comments. I love it. Sequoia
because
Gilliard.
They know the reason why they're blowing it up because we get ready to start a campaign of keep TJ off the pole. because I keep telling them, like, we got to do something to make sure it's $3,800 per scholar. So y'all go to moveindayMafia.org so we can keep TJ off the pole. But I ain't above getting a set down at Magic City now for the kids, Avi.
That's my man Andy right there. Andy be on it.
He's on it.
Andy is the best engineer in the world right here. So yeah, that's the thing I was going to ask you about before we get out of here. Last question for you, just one more time. How can we support? Is there a minimum amount? Do you have a specific goal you're trying to get to with this upcoming semester?
Great. So we're actually getting ready to run a campaign called Keep TJ Off the Pole, where we're going for 1,000 donors who are committing to $20 a month. But again, it takes us $3,800 to move in a scholar and take care of them for the whole year with care packages and other needs. And so any amount that you donate, I'm appreciative of the people that are consistently donating $5 a month. So whatever it is, plus we need volunteers, boots on the ground. We need administration, social media volunteers. We need everybody to pull together as a family. The Mafia is known for taking care of its own. So we need to pull together as a family to take care of these kids and get them to graduation.
Well, I love that, TJ. Thank you so much for your time today and for the work you're doing. I'm certainly going to make a contribution. And how can we keep up with you online?
At Move In Day Mafia everywhere. moveindayMafia.org, at Move In Day Mafia on our social media channels.
All right, and go to moveindayMafia.org. Make a contribution, $5, $10, whatever you can do to help these children as they embark on their college career, coming out of foster care youth. And thank you so much again for your time, TJ. Really, it was a pleasure talking to you.
It was fun, Avi. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Hug yourself for me, and Andy, give yourself a hug, too, even though we're on bad terms right now.
And shout out to Judy, our mutual friend who helped set this up. Judy is awesome. And
Judy is the best.
Yeah, for real. So shout out, Judy. And have yourself a great weekend, TJ.
You too. Bye, y'all. Thank you.
When we come forward, it will be Robin Ayers with the Raw Report. Join me next week for my final Friday show here on KBLA. Really appreciate you all joining us all this time. And I will talk to you then. For now, I'm Avi Bernard, and I am gone.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
York, Pennsylvania's only African-American cemetery is being spruced up in preparation for Memorial Day. City officials say the cemetery was closed on Wednesday after it was discovered that another headstone had been toppled, marking the 8th such case of vandalism since last week. Volunteers say they're working to repair the damage and restore the cemetery ahead of Memorial Day, preferably by Sunday. President Barack Obama was a surprise guest at President Biden's state dinner in honor of Kenya. Obama's father was from Kenya.